All right. And all right, welcome back. This is Jaret306. This is my first podcast, and today's guest, he is the host of the Detour on Cruz 96.3 FM, right here in Saskatoon. Curtis Anderson.
Thank you. I'm your first.
Yes.
Yes, you always remember your first. It's an absolute honor. It's an absolute honor to be the first one here in the studio kicking
he's
off this podcast.
he's
I
the
love the
he's
energy. I
he's
love
the
the
only one that
grind,
I
the hustle. This
no
is this
you're the
this is
only,
me. This is what I do. So of course I'm going to take the time to help
abs-
out
yeah.
a fellow creator figuring it out as they go.
That's cool, man. That's cool, and I do listen to every weekend. That's for sure.
Nice. Thank you very
So
much.
it's actually one of the more interesting shows. I'm going to ask about the show later,
Sure.
but it's one of the more interesting shows because what I like about it is you. I don't know if this was your idea, but I'd like to think it was because you're a creative guy. That you found a way to put songs that don't normally run during the regular cycle, but are in the archives, and it's like, what, this one, that would be what I would want to do at a radio station.
hmm
Why didn't you play this?
I have a great team behind me for the show. Right.
I
So
imagine, yeah.
it's a joint effort. There's a lot of moving wheels. There's Aaron, there's Jessica, there's Travis, all people from none of them are actually in the city, but we all work together. We collaborate during the week, and then of course it's my voice, so I get the credit. But it's definitely a group effort. It's people working behind the scenes. We're putting together the playlist. We're making sure we're not going too far in one direction or the other because there's songs that we just can't play that our demographic is going to get mad even in the context of the detour
Yeah, no,
where
I
you're
do
allowed to
understand.
play some stuff. We've pushed it a few times with some like deep country cuts and some like 2010 pop, which our
Mhm.
demographic will always kind of complain about. So we got to ride that line.
Well,
And
in this day and age with internet, people are not in shortage of things to fucking complain
no,
about, are
absolutely, absolutely not. But
they?
it's been like 99% positive.
No, but you know what I mean. But I hear what you're saying though, is that there's always you can always have that one that has that, hey, hey, hey.
Sure.
That's like, come on, man.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
absolutely.
You know what? Come on.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
you
you'll get it with this podcast. They'll be like, "Really, Curtis, episode number one? That's the best you could do. That's the best."
well, the thing is that what's crazy is that I'm your host, and more people know who you are. So think about it
Eh,
that way. So
give it
that's
a give it a couple months. When this thing takes off, people are gonna be like, "Curtis, you're on that podcast?" I was like,
well,
"Yeah, man,
well, yeah.
the first."
I hope that's a conversation, but we'll see. We'll see.
I love the energy, yeah, man. This is
Uh,
what it's all about. So many people don't do things because there's a high failure rate, be it personality, be it execution, be it technology.
yeah.
Everyone has an idea, but when it comes time to pull the trigger and execute the vision, 90% of the people don't because they're afraid.
Well,
And
yeah.
I'm someone who everything I've done, I've failed till I made it work. And I've done some cool stuff, but people don't see the 90% failure rate of everything I've done.
Oh, look at the 90% failure rate of all if anybody's probably successful. But that's you brought up actually a very good point, and this was actually something I learned when I was in my rookie year of wrestling in high school. Okay,
Yeah.
my coach always would like I lost the match, and he said, "Okay, so why'd you lose that match?" And you're like, "This." It's like, okay, that's what you have to work on. So the thing is that honestly, to be a better wrestler, by the time I was a senior, I was third in my weight category in the city. Uh, it, I would not have been able to do so if I didn't learn from my failures.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I didn't learn much from winning matches except for maybe one or two moves that are gonna
Yeah.
that are gonna work for you. But it's learning not what not to do right off the beginning. That's how you
And
succeed.
the more you win,
Yeah.
the harder it is to lose.
Well, that's true. But see, that the thing is, those people are like you said. A lot. Basically, my whole point is that most people are afraid to fail.
Yeah.
I'm not, and you're saying the same thing.
And that's what I meant by that statement
That's
too. It's like if
exactly
you constantly win, the one time you do fail, it's going to be the worst thing in the world. Where if you're used to failure and a win
something
is
when yeah,
is is not what you expect, then it's even better. It feels better, and you remember it more. You remember the
exactly.
struggle.
All right, let's go back to the beginning.
Sure,
Where were you born?
right here,
Right here in
Saskatoon. Yeah,
Saskatoon. Yeah. Okay. And so then that answers the second question. Where did you grow up?
I have down the
Yeah.
block.
Yeah,
Yeah, Trident Crescent.
Trident.
Trident Crescent. Yep.
Nice. I grew up on Coy,
Yep.
just in the Buena Vista side,
Yep.
so just the other side of Taylor.
Yeah, before my
Yeah.
parents moved us to Bell Crescent out by Market Mall.
Oh yeah.
And they had that house for 40 years. Just sold it a year ago.
You know who else grew up?
Childhood home gone.
Yeah, I always have to say this to people. You know who else grew up in this area?
Who?
Kim Coates grew up on Ash Street.
Oh yeah?
He went to
He
Thornton.
probably bullied me. My sister went to Thornton School. My
Yeah,
older
yeah.
sister.
He went to Thornton School.
Crazy.
And
Shout out Thornton School.
And shout out, he went to Newtana Collegiate.
Yeah, yeah.
Just as I did. As you can see, there's my I wore that on my football helmet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. I actually didn't know Kim Coates went to Thornton School.
I've done a little bit of reading by him.
Yeah.
Not like it was ever in our generation, because he was already out in California by the late 70s, early 80s. Something like
Gotcha.
that.
So that's
Yeah.
quite early.
Yeah. But okay, so did you do any sports growing up?
God no. I was a chubby kid. I was not good at sports. I was not an athlete. And it's funny because when I was 20 and I lost all my weight, I like lost 85 pounds. I was like, now I'm gonna play sports. That's what was holding me back. It wasn't the weight. I suck at sports. I the only thing I was ever good at was dodgeball. I was in the local dodgeball league for a couple years, and I was just short and fast, so it was hard to hit. And that was the only sport I've ever actually been like good at.
Was that before or after the movie made it such a popular thing?
It was probably around that time, like
Yeah.
2007,
Yeah.
2006,
Yeah.
somewhere in there, 6,
Yeah,
7, 8.
like all of a sudden you're turning on TV and all of a sudden there's dodgeball leagues.
Yeah.
You're like, damn.
And that was fun. That was fun. We played up north in the soccer center, and that's my athletic career.
I sucked at every sport that I ever did, except, well, I mean, I can't say I was the worst football player. I
well.
mean, I could tackle a guy. I was a defensive back, so if the receiver touched the ball, I hit him. If he didn't touch the ball, I hit him. Okay, I can do this all day long.
Yeah.
There's not really, but I was never any good at anything. Wrestling was the only one that actually I ever went forward with. Well, I don't know.
So you're an amateur wrestler who loves pro wrestling.
Well, I was also at one time a pro wrestler, but we're gonna
Right.
talk. We're gonna talk.
We'll
about
get
that.
there. We'll get there. But
Locally,
I feel like most
yeah.
amateur wrestlers stay away from pro wrestling.
You know, it all depends on your mindset.
Gotcha.
My whole reason that I wanted to do amateur wrestling was because I was a pro wrestler.
Amazing.
Because I'm like, well, you know that's the basics to build up to a match,
Yeah.
right? But at the same time, you're learning truly how to defend yourself.
Yeah.
If I don't know why people don't consider wrestling more of an art than it is a sport, because it is one of the deadliest of the martial arts. It's the basics of jujitsu or whatever, this and that. Let's see. Now, so what high school did you graduate from?
Walter Murray Collegiate.
Walter Murray. All
Yep.
right.
The Marauders.
Marauders.
The
The
Marauders. Yeah.
Marauders,
Walter
yes,
Murray. Shout out
yes.
Murray, right between Bowman and Holy Cross.
Yeah.
The two teams, or the two high schools that beat us in every sport in the 90s, but it's fine. Not anymore.
Not every. There was the one year. I want to say it was either 95 or 96 that I know that Murray won football
I think that was 97.
and wrestling. I know.
Yeah.
I know they.
I don't know
did.
about wrestling, but I remember I think it was 97 they won.
Yes,
Yep.
97 they did win football. I remember that because I played for Bowman, and we would always win one or two games, get in the playoffs, and then you're one and out.
Yeah.
That's how good we were. Okay, so did you go to college?
Not here. I went out to Manitoba and went to Assiniboine Community College.
What did you study?
Media.
No,
I wanted to be I wanted to be a camera guy.
Mhm.
And it was a really good course. Actually, I did really well. I was a couple years older than most of the kids, and I was there basically on my own money, moved out there. So I was taking it a little more serious, and I think that's the only reason that kind of like knocked me pretty high up in the class. And I did really well. And after the first year, there was a job opening back in Saskatoon at Global Television, and my teachers were like, "We're going to put in a good word for you. If you can get full-time employment back at your home city,
Mhm.
drop out and take it." And I was like, wow, holy cow. Like school telling me to drop out halfway through. So that summer,
That is irregular because schools love to get that money
yep.
coming in because
Well,
they're all no.
no, it's
I
true,
went
but
to
it's
university, so I know in many ways it's like a business for them.
yeah, for sure.
They want to make as much money as they can. But I mean that's awesome
But
that
the funny
somebody
thing
saw
was,
something in
I had
you.
found out right after I got the job offer that I had actually won the second year scholarship, so my second year was paid for already, so they probably weren't losing money by
Okay,
sending me
okay.
home. I never actually connected those dots until this very second. I thought those were completely unconnected moments of my college career, but no, it's probably a lot. Yeah, yeah.
Look, this is not just an interview;
I'm
it's an
learning. I'm already
intervention.
like
Like
5 minutes in. That's
you,
crazy. I've never
we're
thought about that in my whole life. I've always told those as two completely unconnected things. Is that I won the scholarship and they got me a job. But yeah, I came back here and I worked global for a year and a half before I went over to Shaw TV.
right. Okay, now you already answered my next one
Sure.
was about when did you start in media and so on and so forth. And then you actually you man, it, this is working. This
I'm
is
getting
working.
it.
This is working perfectly. So
There's only so many things you can ask me, so I'm ready.
yeah. So when did you start at Shaw 10?
Started at Shaw in I think 2003.
Okay,
And just what a different world. There was a team of like 30 in that department
it's a small
making
building.
local
I've seen the building
making local
across the.
television. There was like 30 of us. There was this insane huge amount of people. And I came from like I was a camera guy global for a year and a half and I learned so much and I'm so thankful for that experience, but I'm not built for news. Like I saw so much death and I saw so much just like anguish. And I remember
Yeah,
when I started,
yeah.
everyone just was so cold and robotic in the newsroom. And I think that's just like a coping mechanism. You can't see and report on that all day, every day,
Yeah.
and not just kind of like have to turn it off and like act dead inside. But man, I saw a lot of shit in that. I only did it for a year and a half, so I don't know how people do it their whole lives. But
Yeah, I
when the job across the street at Shaw came open, I was pretty happy to go and do like good news, community news, and everybody like poo pooed it, but I was so happy. I was so happy to go there and just like
that's
have
awesome.
fun.
I mean, I completely understand what you're saying. I mean, I've said this to many people. Like for example, my niece, she wants to be a policeman. You
Yep,
know, and I could never be a first responder,
yep,
and I don't watch news. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I read what I read, but I because it like exactly what you're talking about. It's like that you would have to desensitize yourself in order to live in that
And I
world.
don't know what it's like now, but I remember thinking that in my head too. It's like policemen, first responders, and firemen. They
Yeah.
all have what I assume from what I've heard. They have that like emotional backup. They have access to like wellness policies and stuff to make sure you're
Yeah.
mentally okay after dealing with that. And news, you don't. I mean, I'm first on the scene with them, and I'm putting a light on,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm pointing my camera, and I'm trying to not show the gore but still get the accident.
Yeah. It's like
And then I
oh
get back and it's like, okay, now go cover the Saskatoon Blades. And you're like, okay, all right, I'll go get some highlights. I just saw somebody like with their head on backwards, but yeah, I'll go shoot some hockey.
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And like in many ways, at least, this is only my opinion. I'm not speaking about you person. I'm not just saying that people that do stuff like this day in and day out, whether it be that, whether it be first responders, I almost wonder, I'm like, okay, either you're suffering from PTSD
yeah.
constantly or you're a sociopath. Because I don't know how else. No, I just
No, it's
how else do you actually like and like you say, like how did you just switch it off and say, okay, yeah, I just saw somebody's head over here, and now oh, I'm gonna go. Yeah, let's go shoot the parade.
yep,
Well,
yep.
look at these people dancing in the parade.
That's why
Jesus
I think
Christ!
like
Like
cops have so much like
oh,
baggage, and you always hear about like the dark stuff they get into and how they deal with it. And it's like, yeah, I get it. Like,
hmm.
like you can't judge those
I
guys.
that's what I'm saying. Like and like I said, I'm not judged. Like I said,
Yeah.
I don't mean to call them a sociopath as in
No,
to
no,
say
I
they're
know what you
crazy.
mean.
It's
I
just
know
that
what you mean.
you would have to
That
be
energy's got to go
you would have to
somewhere.
be mentally um rearranged
Yeah.
just simply to
Yeah.
operate functionally in that kind of
I think
society.
every
Like
policeman or woman I know is divorced. That's probably not by accident. How do you
that's
come home after that? Like, what do you do to unwind? After you've been dealing with that all day, how do you come home and be like, all right, I'm gonna help my kid with their algebra homework. Like, everything must seem so trite
yeah.
after you're dealing with that all day. I don't know.
All right.
Wow, we got way off topic.
We
Thought
are.
we were gonna talk about wrestling.
So no, we'll get wrestling. Don't worry, I got my
We
wrestling
got
questions
okay.
on it. But
Page 8.
For no, I only got 2 pages, but and they're not full pages. This one's actually we have I can't say it's a mutual friend, but acquaintance. You worked with Ann Perry
I
at
love Ann
Shawtown.
Perry. Oh my
Yeah.
god, you know Ann Perry?
I I I was in acting class with her and
Oh
stuff
no
like that. Well,
way!
no, she was never in actually any of my acting classes, but she was in like I think we were in like theater history together and a few other like there's a few other classes you take along with acting. So she studied in the drama department
Yep.
for a short while there. I think she was young. She was 1 year after me, so we were never in any acting classes together. But yeah, no, I know Ann Perry. Have I seen her in 20 some years? No.
She is one of those friends that we cannot talk for 2 years, and then we'll go for coffee, and it'll be like no time has passed.
I know.
I really value her friendship. She won the 2007 Shaw TV Anchor Search.
Yes.
We had a reality show after Jackie Kripke left, and we needed an anchor, and we thought it'd be fun because, again, local television, there's no one telling you what you can or can't do. So every idea we had, we just put on the channel. It was it was the funnest time of my life, really. Like it was, I look back
So it's
on
like,
the
how about
freedom we
this?
had
And you
that.
do it?
So it was like no one was telling
Awesome.
us yes or no. Like there's one person at the top, but they were like, that sounds great. They trusted us. So we did a full on reality show. It went over like 3 weeks. We had hundreds, literally hundreds of people come in and audition and read off the prompter, and we interviewed them. I did this with
Hmm.
all of them, and Ann Perry just stood out.
Okay.
She I just loved her vibe because every single uh person came in there and there was this like desperation, like I really need this job, I want this break, like this is going to be the start of my career. And Anne just was like, I'm Ann Perry. Like if I don't get
That's
this,
good.
I'm going to do something else awesome. So like, do you want me who's already awesome to be part of something, or and that sounds like
That's
she
cool.
sounded, I made her sound arrogant. She didn't actually say it that way, but she was just like, this sounds
No,
fun. I've got a lot going on. Like,
you definitely know her way better than I do. Like I said, I mean, like, yeah, okay, I might have ate lunch next to her a couple of times, or
sure.
sat in a couple classes with her, but no,
But I just remember her
yeah.
coming in and being like, if I don't get this, I'm not even going to think about it after tomorrow. Like, I've got stuff going on, but I'm going to be the best person for the job. And I was like, yeah, like she was the only one that had that energy. And it worked out so great. We had her for 3 or 4 years. And those, to me personally, were the absolute glory days of Shaw. Shout out Ann Perry.
Okay. So yeah. Hi, Ann. Haven't seen you in a long time, but I remember her always just being a very, very nice person.
Yeah,
Like she was
absolutely.
very nice, very always smiling. Um, now, when did you let's keep going here.
Actually, just saw Ann a couple weeks ago.
I
My friend Sal, who is also from that era of Shaw TV, came to town. I do a podcast with him. I do a Blossom review podcast called OK Bloomer that we started just because we were bored during lockdown.
It's a review
So
of what?
of the show Blossom. Remember
Oh
Blossom?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I used
So
to watch that.
we would laugh about when we do these late night edit sessions and we'd just be like, whoa, and we'd sing the theme song, and neither of us had watched the show. The only reference to Blossom we had were other shows making fun of Blossom. But it was just something. It was that and like "Do It Rockapella" from Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah, I
We just had
love
these
that. I
inside
love that
joke
one.
catchphrases that we would
Yeah.
say to make each other laugh. During COVID lockdown, he was in Toronto, and we were both bored and sitting at home. And it popped up on Disney Plus, like Blossom. I was like, we should drink and review each episode of Blossom. And so we did that for the
That's
first 30
awesome.
episodes until the world came back, and then we quit. And then when my friend Gary Nickel from Radio Hall of Fame built his own studio and he was looking for people to just come in and make shows. He's like, you guys should add video and like Skype Sal in and keep the show going. So we did. And yeah, that's the OK Bloomer. But he came to town to record like 10 episodes a couple weeks ago. And we went out with Simon and Eric from the Shaw days. And I was like, let's FaceTime Anne in Vancouver. Because she's in Vancouver working in the film industry, right? That's what she's
Yeah.
doing. So we're FaceTiming Anne, and then she answers and she's in the car and we're like, hey, check it out, like we're all together, we miss you, Anne. And she goes, oh my god, where are you guys? And we're on on 51st, where are you? She's like, I'm in Saskatoon. And so she
Oh,
joined up with us, and it was the craziest. It was
that's
amazing. It was one of the
coincidental.
best
That's
nights.
cool.
Yeah, it had been
Yeah,
2010 since we were all in the same room together.
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's like sometimes when I go to see one of Roberto's shows, and there'll
Yes.
be. I had one time where there was a bunch of us that from Field, and I said we gotta get a picture.
Yep.
because it was the first time we were in the same room. I know, like you said, like it's been so long. I know what that's like, and then and it's like you only look older, but you all remember, and it feels the same.
Yep.
Energy,
Yep.
that energy in the room is it shifts.
Yeah.
Well, now, when did you start to okay, so what came first, filming, sports or doing, working in radio?
Oh, filming sports. I didn't join radio until 2014 when I left Shaw.
Okay.
Yeah. I did a few things here on CFCR, but I left Shaw in 2014 to take a radio job at Cruz FM, and I've pretty much been there ever since. I took like a 2 year sabbatical, but then went back.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
it's crazy to think I've been at Cruz FM longer than I've been at Shaw. It's still
that's just
crazy to
how
me.
time goes by,
I
man.
hate
That's
it.
how
I hate it so much.
it
Never get old.
yeah.
Never get old.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm gonna be 50 in 3 years, and I'm like, I still don't feel any different than I was 30.
right?
I don't.
You don't feel any different until your
No.
body reminds you you're not
Ye
30.
somewhat.
Yeah.
Uh, so, um, so then, when did you start filming, say, like Blades games, Rush games, Barry's
About
games?
2007, 2008.
Okay.
I don't know what they were doing before. They had must have had some sort of video component of the blades, but a guy named Garrett took over the production and he added handheld. It may have been like a league thing because I think there's a lot of leagues where you need a four camera production for the league because I think everything gets sent back. They have to document every game. I don't know, but anyway, suddenly he was in Sastel Center or Credit Union Center or whatever it was at the time, and he was hiring like full production, and we were all at Shaw, and it was like everyone at Shaw was working there, and it was really fun. And I'm still there. It's been almost 20 years, like 2008, I think I started. No,
And which sport do you find more fun to film? The hockey, the lacrosse, or the baseball games?
um, they're all different. Honestly, I would say the funnest thing to shoot would be volleyball or basketball because I have worked with a university as well. I
Oh,
love reactions. You know, that became my favorite thing when we would cover, especially volleyball, but basketball too. The Husky women's basketball went on a tear for like 7 years, and you got to know. Obviously, I don't know them, but you would get to know their personalities just from reactions,
mhm.
and it would be like, okay, at the whistle, zoom into six because she's gonna be pissed. It's just stuff like that
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
where with hockey you can't really see reactions as much. So I love getting close ups of faces. I love personalities. I love telling that story. I love when people have a fit, and you can get that because in hockey it's just you're throwing up your arms. It's all body language. Where volleyball and basketball it's a little more subtle. You can see faces. So I also do Rattler slash Mamba. I do it all, man.
Yeah,
Busy. I'm
yeah.
I'm it's freelance work and I'm somehow built myself up to the top of the freelance list so I get asked first and I never say no. So I work a lot, but I love both my jobs. And there's going to be a day when one of them is gone. I know that. So I'm old enough to know how this industry works. And because when I left for a couple years, the radio station, I was just freelancing full time until COVID. And then
Mhm.
overnight, I was making zero money. And that was when the radio station took me back, which thank God. And now when sports opened back up after COVID, I've just been doing both because radio, could be gone. You never know. Not
Yeah.
saying Cruise FM is just going to be dead one day, but you never know. There's constant the
Oh,
chess
oh, oh,
pieces
yeah.
the chess pieces move above in levels I have no idea.
I've
But
seen so many radio stations come and go in this city,
well,
and
they
that's just what happens.
Ralco bought the bull, which is the craziest thing.
Yeah.
So like you never know. I have no idea what happens above, but I mean someone could buy us and no,
And see,
clean house.
that was the thing that I really loved when Cruz came up, is because for a while there, Roku just they bought up everything. They had
Yeah,
they owned the monopoly in every radio station, and none of them were any good. I mean, 102 was okay because I lean heavily on rock,
sure.
but as soon as the Cruz came up, it was a breath of fresh air because it was exactly
Hmm.
basically it was in my wheelhouse: 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s rock, and that was and but if you go back in time, like, okay, 102 wasn't Rock 102, it was the Sun 102.
Yep.
That was the easy listening station.
Yeah.
That's now, and we're going to talk about that actually a
See,
little
but
bit.
everybody gets stuck in their own eras, and I know what you're saying,
Yeah,
but to me, Rock 102 is Shaq, Watson, and Whitney.
yeah.
That was my era, and
I
I
guess
love
that's
that. That was
true. That's
before I was in
true.
radio, and
That's true.
I'm good friends with Whitney. Our kids play together. Our kids used to be in the same class before I switched schools.
That's cool.
I cooked with Shaq, with Mark Loshak. I was the camera guy back when he was
And I
doing that show,
and I listened to him before he was
yeah.
on other stations
And
before.
I'm good friends with Derek Watson. So to me, it's like being an old guy. It's like that's the glory days of Rock 102. So whatever happened after that, I'm like, nah, even though I'm sure it's probably still good. And those are the
Yeah.
people that don't usually control what gets played anyway.
No,
So,
that's true. Because you know a little bit about being a program director.
no, you okay?
Well, you see, you were a program director for a while, were you not?
Not for radio.
Not for radio?
No, I've been a director of like other media, and I mean
Oh,
I make my own. I'm with Stripped Down, I'm like the producer director. Well, I guess I'm not director. I don't know. That's a vague title.
a vague
A vague
title. Okay.
director. Yeah, program director for radio. I've never been. I've never had that
Okay,
title.
I must have misunderstood in one of our conversations
Sure.
about what the types of titles that you did have.
I lie a lot, but I've never lied about being a program director for radio.
I don't expect you to be lying about anything, and I'm not accusing anybody of nothing. So you,
And I would be a terrible program director because even when I'm doing the Detour, I'm like, hey, can we play Dolly Parton's 9 to 5? And they're like, we'll play it once and see what happens.
why not?
Because it's all like demographic and response.
Yeah.
And even though the Detour is its own entity,
I know.
it can't be completely crazy music that we never play for 2 hours.
No,
because
I understand that, and you guys do mix. I see you
Yeah,
manage to mix
we can
it.
pepper some in, but it's still got to be
Yeah.
music
I
for.
think I actually heard that time you guys played 9 to 5.
We did play it. I was very proud of that.
Uh,
I tried to.
it was. Hey, that's
What
not
was the
really.
song every single week I pitched, and they finally let me play it? Biz Marquee, Just a Friend. I think I pitched that every week for like 6 months, and then finally they're
Which
like,
one?
"This makes sense this week." Just a Friend by Biz Marquee. Girl, you got what I need.
Yeah, you
You
say he's just a friend.
Great,
Yeah.
great song.
Yeah. Oh man, well, because that's the one thing I like about detours, that sometimes you play stuff that's so off key. It's almost like watching, without the laughter, watching an episode of Beavis and Butthead, where
Yeah, pretty much.
they'll play constant metal, Anthrax, Metallica,
Yeah.
and stuff, but then they'll play that one, then they'll be like, they just start making fun of it, and as soon as I heard that played that one time on the detour, I was like, oh my god, this one. I remember that Beavis and Butthead episode, and that's what music does to you.
Well, and I do a
It brings
ton
back
of prep for that
memories.
show. I do a
Yeah.
ton of prep because, and again, this is what radio is and always will be, and it's what it has to be. But I like to be the one show that's not, hey, did you hear about? Hey, did you hear about? Hey, did you hear about? Like that's radio, right?
Mhm.
You react to local events where I'm just deep in music history. I'm
Yeah,
never gonna be
yeah.
like, hey, the Broadway Bridge is still closed this weekend. I'm like, okay, Tom Petty
Yeah.
wrote this after he broke up with her and he had drug problems. Like, I stay in that lane, and it's on purpose and it's by design. And
Actually, that's partly why I do like
Sure.
the show, because like part of the reason why I started my YouTube is because as you can see, these are just some of the
That's
movies. If you
insane.
go take out the boxes in the hallway and in my bedroom,
terrified.
don't even bother. But the point is that I there's something fun about taking that deep dive and saying these are, like, for example, I just did a two-part videos about comic book movies from the 90s that were not DC and Marvel.
Yeah.
So, you're talking the Phantom, the Shadow, the Crow.
Yep.
Keep that. It just
Yep.
it became enough that I had to split it into two videos and stuff. But that's why I like the detours, because like we're not just listening to stuff. We're going, hey, by the way, did you know this? And some of it I go, yeah, and some of it I go, oh no, I mean, that isn't that fucking interesting.
I saw The Crow in the Midtown Plaza Theater on a date.
Nice.
I love that memory. Yeah. Yeah. Great movie.
I actually saw it in the Place Royale Theater when it still had a theater.
So many. I remember that too. I remember
Yeah,
Plaza Real
yeah.
Theater. I was always drunk when we saw because didn't they do like movies at midnight on Fridays? Wasn't that a thing?
They would yeah they would do Hong Kong ones that you had
Was
to read
that
the
it?
subtitles.
Yeah.
Like they were like that was
It
the first time I saw a Jackie Chan film was with
it
my
was it
buddy.
was
You
never our destination, but after like 7 or 8 beers, like, well, let's go. And so like I'm sure I slept in there.
know.
More movies than not.
Yeah.
Not my finest time, but you're a kid.
Okay, so working with Cruz FM, there's the two morning hosts. What's it like working with Stacy?
Stacy is phenomenal. I love Stacy to death. She is such an interesting person. I wish she had another. We do a podcast together called the Out of Tune Podcast, where we
That's
just
right.
have memories of growing up in Saskatoon, and it's like you have to do a job. Like I said, I wasn't ragging on radio with the hey, did you hear about it? That's your job. You
Mm-hmm.
take the information, you take the local information, and you give it to back to the public, and you put your spin on it, and you be insightful or funny, whatever. That's your job, and she does it great. She does it well. But to get Stacy just talking like about herself, which she doesn't really get to do on the morning show, for like a long period of time. Like sometimes she'll tell like a 10-minute story, and it's just fascinating. She's a great storyteller. She's lived an interesting life, and I love that that platform is there now for her to tell some of these stories that she clearly doesn't have time or the like platform, the whatever it's called, the design of the show does not fit telling long personal stories when you're trying to keep it peppy and movie in the morning.
Well,
Format is the
well,
word I
yeah.
was
Like
looking for.
when you only have so much time to speak in between each song, you don't have time, and then get to commercials,
Yeah,
which pays the bills.
yeah,
You don't have that time to do like, and that's what I love. That's why I started this. I'm like, you know what? It's about time we start finding out people's stories
yeah.
that from around here, and
And
that's
again, love the
awesome.
energy, man. Love that you just bought some shit off online, plugged it in, and let's go. Let's just do it.
Yeah,
Whatever
this is
happens,
this is
happens.
this is about as dirty as it gets for a
No, this is
podcast,
this
man.
is
No,
this
that's
is
what I mean.
perfect, man.
No,
I
dirty,
mean,
dirty, dirty. It's a term in like when you're doing acting and when you're dirty, as in just quick, go, go, go. Just turn on the fucking camera. Let's go.
we've done almost 300 episodes of Strip Down slash Strip Down Live out of the Shaw TV studio. It's the show that I continued after I quit. We still do it once a month. And man, the first 30 episodes were like this. It was
Yeah.
like, let's just hit record and whatever happens, happens. Lighting was bad, shadows were bad, cameras were bad. Music was usually good. Like we at least we had a good audio person who could like mix music properly. It was so bad, but yet now that we're coming up to episode 300 and we're polished and we're high def and we have a studio audience and we're live and everybody knows what they're doing and everybody succeeds and they're pretty damn flawless. I go back and I look at those first 30 episodes, and as bad as they are, they're the ones that have the charm. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I look at that, I'm like, everything is wrong, but damn, we did it.
and it was
With
probably the most fun too and
it was
satisfactory. You know.
you
Yeah,
could debate it. It was definitely had a different vibe, but it's like that's where you start. That's where you start, and that's
yeah.
where most people quit because you've done 5 and it still sucks and it's not getting better and nobody's watching.
Well,
But
yeah.
you gotta keep with it, even if nobody's watching. If you're having fun and it's bringing people
I'm
together,
I'm I'm having so
right?
much fun. This is 10 times more fun than I thought it would be.
No, thank you.
You know, to be honest with you. I have to mention,
Sure,
speaking of more, not necessarily friends, but acquaintances that we have. Uh, Joel Jeffrey,
Joel Jeffrey.
or
Yep.
as I know him by his family name, but nevertheless, we're not gonna out that here.
Didn't know
But
that wasn't his real name.
that's his stage name.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, no, I've known Joel. See, we played softball for the Buena Vista team when we were kids.
Okay.
We played hockey for the Bobcats as kids,
Yep.
and we played high school football together. His older brother James is on the wrestling team with me, and he was silver medalist in the cities and in the provincials. Lost to the same guy. It was just I'm just like, get him this one time. But no, unfortunately, but like so, and his father actually did coach the softball team. So
Yep.
like, who his father was the one that worked for some 102.
Yeah. Does the school now, right?
I don't know what
Is
he
it D
does. See,
W A B C?
I knew them when we were kids.
Okay.
I don't I had never seen Joel since high school football until I saw him doing a comedy
Yeah.
show like he was doing when he was first starting in comedy. It was at this fundraiser that my sister's friend does every year because she has MS. So she's doing she does this fundraiser thing, right? And I went up to him and I said, Joel Jeffrey. He's like, oh hey Chris, how you doing? It's like I'm like Jeffrey, that's a good name, you know.
He has good vibes. I like that
No,
guy.
he's a funny guy,
Yeah.
and him and Steve, they're hilarious together. That's for
It's a good
sure.
show.
No,
Yeah.
they are funny together. I
I'm
think they.
happy he came back. He left and then came back. Just like
Yeah,
me.
yeah. The morning show it wasn't as good without him.
No.
Like he has that quick wit and humor that you need
Yeah.
for that slot. I think.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I can't remember who was doing the morning show at the time.
She did it solo for a long time.
Oh, was that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. So, what year did the Detour come about?
Well, first I was Nigel Kicks. I don't know if you remember that or if you even knew that. Do you remember Full Volume from like
Okay. Okay.
2020
Yeah, I remember the name.
to 2023? I was Nigel Kicks. I played a character. We played hair metal and heavy metal for like 6 hours on Saturdays. That was a lot. Given that opportunity by program director Andy Ross,
Mhm.
who believed in me and gave me way more opportunities than he should have. But yeah, I was the Nigel Kicks for 3 years. Then Andy left, and a new guy came in, and he killed Nigel Kicks. And then that guy left, and then they put me back on air after he left, as myself as the host of the Detour, which was
Right.
2025. So it's only been a couple years of doing the Detour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember. I knew it hadn't been on that
Yeah.
long. I just remember when I was one time it was I'm like on the weekend I'm listening and all of a sudden I'm hearing. I remember I Facebook messaged you. It was like, is that you I'm hearing on the radio, man?
Hell yeah.
It's not
I'm
bad.
back, baby.
Not bad.
I'm
Not
back,
bad.
baby. Hitting you with trivia.
Now, there's one thing I want to ask, and I don't know if you know anything about this, but they used to, they still do sometimes. Like I remember one time they put up a thing. They said Fourth of July is coming up. What would be a song that you would play on Fourth of July? So I put up a thing. I said, well, if I were the program director, I'd put American Girl by Tom Petty.
Yep.
I don't know. Did you ever hear about this?
I did not hear about this.
No,
No.
well, I didn't know if you were the one or that because eventually the guy emailed me and says, "Okay, for Friday's show, if we were to play American Girl, what else would you play?" And I'm like, "Well, Friday, I'm in Love by The Cure." So they actually, and I have the sound bites, but it doesn't matter. And they're like Chris, like it was the top 2 at 10.
Nice.
They
There
got
you
to
go.
like, hey Chris, you're the program director for the top 2 at 10, and I'm like, awesome.
That's
Like,
fun.
it-
No, I don't know anything
that
about
was
that.
that was it was cool to be acknowledged by because I've been listening since day one.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
'cause
appreciate that.
I there hadn't been a radio station till Cruz came along, and I believe it was around 2013 or
Yep.
something. They appeared. Um,
They switched over from
it
Wired.
was Wired. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was Wired 96.3.
Yep.
Yeah, which wasn't really that good. And it was too poppy. Let's say I'm not.
It had its niche,
Yeah,
but I think it was hard to sell ads for that station because it was such a young station.
yeah.
You know, I think that's where
Yeah,
it wasn't anything on air that failed. It was just when your target demo is like 15 to 22, 25,
yeah.
there's not a lot of advertising opportunities.
It almost seemed like they were trying to find a way to steal a little bit of the audience from C95, which you're never going to do because they've always been the big radio station in town, and I
Mhm.
mean, leave them do their thing. You do something else. That's what you should do.
Rob and Sean are fantastic. They have the
Oh.
legacy, man. They have been on air together for like 25 years.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I
And
rem-
Saskatoon loves that stuff. They love consistency,
yeah.
and it's a good show.
I don't know. I
It's-
don't.
it
I don't
sounds
know.
great.
I don't ever listen to anything.
No.
I
Well,
don't know if you-
I
don't know if you-
appreciate
I don't
that.
know if you heard. Yeah, I listen to nothing but prior to that, I don't know if you remember, there was actually the best radio station that I think that we ever had, but I knew it wasn't gonna last forever. I knew it because it was a test phase, was Rock 98. Do you ever remember Rock
I
98 in
don't
and around
remember
2000?
Rock 98.
Okay,
No.
Rock 98 in and around 2000, what it was is it was just nothing but 24 hours rock music,
Hmm.
nothing else. Now, what became of it is that was just a test phase to eventually come up with Rock 102.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
so all the and it only lasted for maybe a year and a half to 2 years,
okay.
but you would just turn it on, there'd be no commercials, there'd be no commentating, it was just music 24/7. That was the time to be alive if you ask me, but the thing is, no radio station can survive if you're not selling,
Right. Yep. That's
advertising, blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
I get the idea. It was just really, really cool. It's like, well, we don't have much music anymore, but we got
Yeah.
this.
Curious to see what Ralco does with the bull when it finally moves over there. What a crazy time. Gregor on Cool. Fantastic. Love
Yeah,
Gregor.
Gregor.
There's good people on the radio. All these people, other than like the C95 folks, were like gone for a while, and then we all came back, and that was really fun. That was really fun. There was a time when like Gregor and Clayton and I and Derek Watson were off the air, and Watson came back for a little bit on our station actually. But there was that time where I was like, man, everyone's gone. Like the page turned, all the old guards out. I guess we're past our prime, and then within 2 years, everyone was back, and it felt good. I was like, no, we still got some life left in us. I hate how there's still some people in the industry that are like, oh, you got to hate the competition, and like
Yeah, what?
and like I get it, but at the same time, it's like, guys, time is our competition. If for those of us few that still work in radio, we should be so thankful, and we should be brothers and sisters
Yeah,
because God, there's so few jobs. There's so few jobs. We're like the
yeah,
survivors. Like there should be that brotherhood of
yeah.
like, hey, you're still on the air. We're still on the air. That's amazing.
And like and like anything, stations come and go. So
Yep.
when Wired goes, like, well, hey, can I go work somewhere else or something?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be shooting your competition, because sooner or later, if let's just say your station is no more and you still want to work in radio, well, it helps to
It's
know the
shrinking.
guy.
It's
Yeah,
shrinking.
it,
Yeah.
it helps to know who.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it helps to know the guy who
For
works over
sure.
here, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't burn a bridge there,
Yep. Yep.
No, absolutely. I
Yeah.
agree with you. Like there's something to be said for networking and stuff like that. And that's something that I also want to do with my podcast here, is that I want to know other people that have podcasts. I mean, there's people that have come up in a lot of them are just, in the wrestling group or this and this, but
Hmm.
there's this one girl that does a Twitch stream, stuff like that. I want to interview her because because she also does a Twitch stream, but a lot of it is about wellness,
Yep.
like about like mental health and wellness.
Hmm.
So it's like I want to know what everybody's thing is. Like, what's you work in radio?
Yep.
Uh,
I have
uh,
many things. I don't even know what my thing is. Failing. To go
no,
back to the intro.
yeah,
Failing's my thing.
yeah,
Trying things,
yeah.
trying a million things, and having one succeed is my thing.
I'm gonna throw out just a
Sure.
couple of ideas that I came up
Okay.
with, that I would like to see on the Detour, if you already haven't done such shows, which
Okay.
I would actually not be
Hit me.
surprised. These are not crazy ideas
Jessica,
now, right?
Aaron, pay attention.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, how about songs that only reached number 2?
I like that.
Like, for example,
That's really good.
I'm a huge Springsteen
Yeah.
fan, right? He has never had a number 1 song.
Really.
He's had several number 1 albums, but Dancing in the Dark and Streets of Philadelphia, being his 2 biggest hits, only hit number 2.
There's a Detour double dose right there.
Okay,
I
yeah,
like that.
I'm just throwing that out there.
No, I'm
well,
gonna take that back.
yeah, you see that blue strip that's in the middle there?
Yep.
That was my wristband when I was in the pit to see him in 2023.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh man, they do a
It's a,
3-hour show. It's an
it's a gr-
adventure.
that's a
It's an
great
adventure to go
that's a
to a
great
Springsteen
category.
show.
I'm excited.
All right.
What else you got?
How about super groups like the Traveling
Yeah.
Wilburys, the Yardbirds?
Would there be enough to fill 2 hours?
That's a good question. I'd
We'd
have
have
to
to
look
look
into
into
that.
that.
Yeah, because like the Traveling Wilburys, Velvet
But we have all that
Revolver,
music
the
already. That's our
Yardbirds.
demographic.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just. This is just, again. These are just things that came
No,
to
I
my
love that.
head. and I still didn't get a chance to actually write all the ones that down, but I would
Shoot me a message.
uh the albums that were the summer of 1991.
Yep.
Now, have you ever seen that picture?
Of all the
You
tapes,
know, yeah, yeah,
Metallica,
Metallica,
GNR, Pearl
Pearl Jam,
Jam, Nirvana.
Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Yep.
Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Yeah,
That's crazy.
that would be a great rock
So
show.
lucky we lived through that. And that's
Oh, yeah.
you watch when you were a kid, you looked at like your parents and how sad they were holding on to their era, and it happened to us.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's going to happen to the next generation, but I
But
don't think you can touch the 90s
the
in
thing
pop
is
culture,
that
anything.
the thing is that our generation did go through similar cycles like our parents' generation, because we had albums that we had to
Yep.
go buy, or CDs that we had
Yep.
to go buy, whatever tapes we had to go buy, whatever the format was. But the point is that um, what the new generation is going through is like, oh, hey, did you stream this new song?
Sure.
Like, what the
But it's going to feel
it's really different.
it's going to feel the same for them when their time comes.
I
And whatever
suppose.
replaces streaming and downloading, that will be their nostalgia. And it'll feel the same, but it's not the same because we had it in the
Well, I'll
90s.
tell you,
We had the best of the
that's
best
why
of the world
that's
in
why I
the
collect
90s.
physical media, is because
Yeah.
you,
No.
you want to know what's better than streaming. Okay, pretty soon, you'll be going through your what the hell's it called?
Collection.
No, 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 the Netflix. Sorry,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
you go through your Netflix. Oh, that movie that I wanted to watch, it's no longer on.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, well, I got
Dude,
this. I
you're
got this right here. You want to watch Neverending Story Part 1 and 2?
you are sitting
Like,
on in like 2 to 3 years. This is
yeah,
going to be worth so much money because everyone got rid of their physical media,
it's worth
and
more.
all the
Actually,
streaming places are getting greedy, and
it's
it's
worth
more expensive
yes.
every year, and they're adding commercials, and people are getting sick of it, and numbers are
Yeah.
down across the board for streaming
I've read all
services.
about this, and
Yeah.
also Sony, like when you're when you buy downloads through your PS4 or PS5.
You don't own it.
No,
You
you
don't
don't.
own
Yeah,
it. They can take it away.
they're apparently going to be deleting a bunch,
Yeah.
including Terminator 2 and 1,
I
and
read that. That's
oh,
insane.
and I'm looking at this. I'm like, yeah, I got the
Yeah.
Terminators right there.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's the ones that are sealed. It's actually what's his name? Pete. This guy who was in Saturday Night Live for a while.
Pete Davidson?
Pete Davidson.
Okay.
Okay,
Ah,
Pete
wow.
Davidson. I saw him on a talk show. I think it was Conan, or it doesn't matter. He was on one of the big talk shows, and he was saying what he did, because it would have been 30 or 30 years since the last videotape was made or something
Yep.
like that. So he starts buying up all these sealed videotapes, and the host is kind of like, huh? And he's like, just hear me out. And he goes, it's because he read online that somebody sold a sealed copy of Rocky for like $10,000
Yeah.
or something. He goes,
Yeah.
and also the crowd goes, ooh. He's like, oh yeah. See, this is my GameStop. He says,
Yeah.
and so that's really what's going to be worth. Not the ones that I have, but the ones that I have that are sealed.
Sure.
Those might be worth something.
Yeah.
someday.
I think it's all going to be worth stuff. I think people are going to go back to physical media. I think it's inevitable. I think people
I
are
just never
are
wanted to
almost
give
at
it
that
up.
bubble.
I
of-
never like people
Yeah.
call people like me hoarders and stuff like that. But you know what it really is? Like, there's my videotapes over there, and I got videotapes. And never mind. I got a lot of stuff. I never wanted to give up the physical media because I'm sure you would remember the best times were going and renting movies.
Yeah.
I mean, what was a better weekend? Get a
Yep.
couple pizzas, rent some movies, and fucking here we go.
And what was lost with that was you were forced to watch it. You were forced to see it through because you rented it.
Yeah.
It had to be so bad for you to turn it off. And now you have unlimited
Yeah.
options. So if something doesn't grab you in 5 minutes, you're on to the next movie.
Mm-hmm.
And you're never gonna find those gems living like that. But that's how everyone lives now because it's unlimited options. Back when you rented a movie, you saw it.
You're
through.
making a commitment.
You're making a
Yeah.
commitment.
Yeah.
Same thing with video
Yeah.
games. And like maybe the movie started out terrible and went to a good place. You're never gonna see that through these days. You're never gonna watch a movie you perceive as bad for more than 15 minutes on a streaming service.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of them that are
Sure.
made by
Yeah.
those same streaming services,
Yeah.
and a couple that are okay. All right, one thing I wanted to touch on. You realize that we actually became Facebook friends, and we actually had before none of this would be possible. Is that you shared a couple of pictures of one of my matches, the White Lightning versus Quicksilver from POW show that
I
you were at.
remember POW.
Yeah,
I remember that show. That was at the old Legion that's no longer there, right?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. We called it the Legion of Doom.
That's amazing. That was the last wrestling show I think I went to before I moved to Manitoba to go to school in like 2001.
Yeah.
My second week of school was 9/11.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, the specific pictures that you had was from our show that we did in July.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense because I moved in August.
Yeah, and
Yep.
like I said, that like
Is
this.
that the one Leatherface was at?
No, that was the first one. That was in May.
Okay. Yeah, I was at both of those.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great wrestling.
Yeah, that was our very, very, very first show. And if it wasn't for that show, we wouldn't have Prairie Pro Wrestling now
Yep.
because Roberto was trained by Brian
Yep.
and wrestled with us. Love that guy.
Mhm.
Love both those guys. Shout out Roberto. Shout out
Seriously,
to
an
Brian.
injury, isn't he?
What?
Does he have an injury?
Yeah, he hurt his shoulder in the last show.
Boo.
Oh, I know. I went to that show because they had that show. It was actually literally on my physical birthday,
Yeah.
and I went there. And I'm like, and I was so excited and stuff. And then he comes out, and then all of a sudden he hurts his shoulder, and I'm like, I think it was his shoulder. I didn't ask,
Yeah.
but he was going like this and everything, and I'm like, well, that's the that's the
Brutal.
last thing I wanted to come
Yeah.
here, get drunk, go home in a cab, sleep it off. I didn't want to see my buddy get hurt.
No.
Like that was terrible.
Do you remember Hardcore Wrestling in 1997?
Yes.
The promotion that was at the exhibition grounds.
Oh man, okay. You're gonna make me. You're gonna make me show you my scrapbook later,
Okay.
aren't you?
I would love to see the scrapbook later.
Because I knew some of those guys.
Yep.
You know the Dream Warrior.
Yep.
That was Mel McGee. I used to babysit his kids.
Amazing.
Yeah. And that was actually how I first started getting in.
My friend made a sign that said "Wet Dream Warrior." I always thought that was funny. He didn't like that, but that's fun. That's funny. That's funny. We were,
Yeah.
we were like 18 or whatever.
So
So there's Hardcore, and then I remember in that same building in Prairie Land in 2000, there was one Stampede Wrestling show that had some Sabu. Before they did like a stretch later on, I think at the exhibition, and Sabu was there. But I just remember 2000. I think it was June.
I know POW.
They did
They
because
they
it was
had
one of the
Sabu
Hart
in the
brothers. He
shows.
came and I got
Yeah.
my picture taken with the Hart brothers, and yeah, they brought in Sabu and it was crazy. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that brings me to my next part. These are more.
Let's go,
this is
wrestling.
This is more
This
rapid
is what
fire.
this is what I thought
This
we were
is-
going to be doing.
Well, yeah, I said. I mean, I said you have a great story, and your story was even more interesting than I thought it would be. So there we go. And that's why we were already. Forget about the time.
We're an hour deep.
I'm not even going to edit this. All of this is gold. So I heard you're a pro wrestling fan.
Yes.
Lifelong pro wrestling fan?
Yeah, I missed the Hogan era. I started watching in like 93, which is crazy. It's crazy to think the new generation, like the lowest rated ever, was
Yeah.
what got me
But
into
we all
it.
have a time that we
Oh, God,
find
I
our
just
way in.
I loved Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Basically, when they went solo, I started watching. It was
Yeah.
it was on around me all the time. My friends were fans. I can remember being at people's house and watching like a Royal Rumble, and I remember like Earthquake sitting on Hogan. I remember Jake getting blinded, and I was like I said, I never cared. I remember the Ultimate Warrior getting locked in a casket, and then
Yeah.
when Sean threw Marty through the window, I remember being like, "Oh, that's cool," but I still wasn't watching. And then my cousin was over, and he was like, "We got to watch Saturday night's main event." And I was like, "What do you-" "Okay, whatever." And so we watched, and it was the last Saturday night's main event in whatever that was, 92. And
It
Shawn
was-
Michaels, the last match was Shawn Michaels came out, and I had not seen like the new Shawn Michaels.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, this is like the rocker guy that threw it. He was, dancing and dressing like a stripper, and everyone was booing him. And he beat the British Bulldog for the title. Because I was like, are you kidding me? This one half of the rockers
oh, so
fighting.
this was just after they did the Wembley show.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
going back, it definitely
that would
was.
have been
And then
just
he-
after
he
the
beat-
summer '92.
He beat
summer
the
'92.
British Bulldog for
Yeah.
the
In the
Intercontinental
yeah,
title.
that
And
was-
I remember my cousin was so pissed, and I because I was being annoying because I didn't really care and I was cheering for Sean. And then that was just like the switch. I was like, Sean's my guy. I'm gonna start watching. This is awesome. Like I'm chasing this high of everybody being mad at me for like liking the heel, and I just like heels. And like I had another friend who's like the biggest Owen Hart fan after he turned heel. And so you look at like the late '90s, late '93, early '94, and there was so much bad, but you were getting like as annoying as like the clique was that were making sure they all had the top spots and wrestled each other. I mean, you had the ladder match. I
Mm.
liked Diesel as champion. Maybe I'm the only person. I loved Razor Ramon. I still can't believe he never got to like the main event in WWE. But that was, that was the tail end of my childhood, was watching those, and I thought it was incredible. And then to watch, I'm a huge Bret Hart fan, and so watching him and Shawn kind of circle each other as it got more real, and then they got to like world
Mhm.
champion level status, and then to have it explode in '97 was just, as a fan, I was like, this is amazing.
I
When you
was
get to
just
grow up with it, and suddenly it's the Attitude Era, and you're like just coming at the right time and the right age where you're young and
yeah.
pissed off and
Me,
cocky,
it
and
was a little bit different. Because like I said, I'm a little bit older.
yeah,
What it was is that you see, in 1982 was when Rocky 3 came out. So I was
yeah,
3 years old, and I remember we were watching Rocky 3, and then they had that scene, and I'm like, "Who's that guy?" And she's like, "Oh, that's Hulk Hogan. He's the wrestling champion." I'm like, "What?"
yeah.
I didn't know what that was, and then I watched what he was doing, and I'm like, I didn't understand. But then one day I was flipping through Saturday mornings, and and all of a sudden here's Hulk Hogan training with Mr. T for the first
For their
WrestleMania.
match, yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, so I can say that I slipped in just before the first WrestleMania,
yeah,
but my full understanding of wrestling came with everything that happened at WrestleMania 3 and thereafter.
sure.
Like, so, I mean, I was able over the years to fill the rest in,
Yeah, I went
but
back and watched
yeah,
everything too,
I
thanks
was able
to
to yeah,
video stores,
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah.
again, why I love video stores.
But
Yeah, I was able to fill everything in, but, it was really, starting with WrestleMania 3 and moving forward. WrestleMania 4 was the first time I'd watched, like, a full year to going to a
oh, yeah?
WrestleMania.
Nice.
So that was, like, the big one. I'm like, "I've been waiting for the next WrestleMania for a year."
I still think peak mid-90s ECW was the best it got as a whole.
And that
I
was
know I'm in the,
that was
minority.
it
I know the garbage wrestling isn't for everyone and people poo-poo it now, but as a kid, after watching, like, Bob Sparkplug Holly, the race car driver,
right.
wrestle the Trash Man, I turned to ECW, and these guys are just, like, landing on cement and bleeding and swearing, and there's, like, strippers, and it was just, like,
Yeah,
the most R-rated without
yeah.
actually being R-rated, and I just the matches they would have, they brought in all, like, the Japanese wrestlers, and it blew my mind.
See,
I hadn't seen anything like that.
ECW, I remember when it was on when it was first on, you unless you had
Yeah,
satellite at that time,
tape
you couldn't
traders.
watch. Yeah, yes, tape traders or satellite. So what I was old enough to go to the bar. I would go there. I would buy a beer, and no sound, but I'd be watching the screen, and I would watch for an hour. That's how I got to see ECW.
Amazing, that's
That's how I got.
incredible.
That's
I
how
had
committed I was.
I had a
Yeah,
friend with
yeah.
satellite that would
Oh, I
tape it for me, and
wish.
I was obsessed. I mean,
Yeah.
God, I remember seeing Raven. I was like, "Is that Johnny Polo?" For,
Yeah.
like, if anyone's watching this that isn't a wrestling fan, there was this, like, just annoyingly
Oh,
peppy
oh,
guy that wore a blazer and carried a polo stick, and his name was Johnny Polo, and then he hated it, I guess, and left WWF. Then he appeared in ECW as, like, this grunge.
but you go back even further. He was Johnny Flamingo in WCW in the light heavyweight division.
Just
That eventually crashed,
yeah.
but then eventually they came up with a cruiserweight division down the line.
But I just could not believe how they reinvented himself into this interesting dark character, and, like, I'm
Yeah,
watching Johnny Polo, like, jump into barbed wire and, like,
I know.
take the
I know.
craziest chair shots. I'm like, this is where, and even to this day, it's like, uh, I don't know if you have the Tubi app, as we've been bashing streaming system or streaming services.
Well,
There's a free app called Tubi that has the
I have
greatest,
to be.
yeah, it's got the greatest, like, trash horror movies, but it's also got CZW,
Oh,
which is like
CZW. Yeah,
ECW
yeah.
continued on. And I know I'm part of the problem, but oh my God, I will watch that,
Well,
and
see,
I will just feel all the feels of watching
I
these
I'm
like
of
untrained
I'm of
people.
actually of I'm of two minds about the whole ECW
Yeah.
situation. Okay, and then here, so this is
Well, as a student of the game, I'm sure you
yeah.
have a different.
I know I'm of two minds on
Okay.
this, but it doesn't mean it's. I'm not about to bash it.
No,
No,
bash
that's for
away,
sure.
man.
I'm not. No,
I.
I'm no. I'm not
Okay.
about to. I'm not about to because
Okay.
it. Okay, here's of my two minds. I felt that a lot of the stuff they did, the blood and guts. Yeah, that's just to get a reaction, and I understand why people go nuts for it and gaga. But it's just simply you're simply doing things for the simple fact of simply getting a reaction, any
Yep.
reaction, and really a lot of it is so unsafe. You're like that's not good, man. And you
Yep.
wonder why these guys are dying younger and younger.
Yep.
But on the flip side to that, they what I liked about ECW was that instead of continuously like okay, there was the Hogan era where they were feeding it to the kids and
Yep.
then when they were eating it up. But as these kids started growing older and they kept trying to feed it like you said, the new generation, they tried to feed it to the next kids, they weren't eating it.
Yeah.
So what they wanted is they wanted it to become more real,
Yep.
more mature,
Yep.
more whatever. Because
And that was
yeah,
ECW.
and that's what and you'll notice that as soon as ECW came along, that's when WCW decided to well, they ripped off the angle from Japan and did the
Yep.
NWO. If you didn't know that was ripped off from Japan, I could explain it, but I'm sure you do. And then all of a sudden, WWF has attitude.
Yep.
Because so
They ripped off ECW, and that's
easily and then the hardcore division, right? So
and for me, watching ECW before that happened and knowing what they were stealing from just made me feel like the coolest person in the world.
yeah, oh, of
And
course.
ECW,
Yeah.
it was marketed for me, angry teenage white guy. Are you kidding me? I ate that shit
See
up.
what was cool about ECW is that if it wasn't for ECW, we wouldn't have had the change that was necessary to
Yep.
change the business, and it did change the business.
And I totally
In North America,
I totally
anyways.
understand what you're saying. That like it's not good, it's unsafe, people get hurt, and I 100% agree. But I'm just being honest. I can watch CZW all day, every day, and I'm like, oh my god, you guys!
Yeah,
Like it's like watching
crazy.
a car crash, and I hope they're well. I don't wish it on anyone, but just like I don't know, man. I'll
But
take
you
table
also got to
spots
remember that
all day, every day.
ECW was simply ripping off what they did in FMW
Yep.
Japan. See,
Yep.
something always comes from somewhere, and
Yep.
you know what? 9 times out of 10, if there's good ideas in North America, it came from Japan.
Yep.
They're
So
always ahead of the curve.
think poorly of me all you want, but
No, I don't. I
I've
don't.
been a strict diet of CZW off Tubi, and I'm living my best life.
No, like I said, I don't think ill of anybody because I watched it.
Yeah,
I watched it. I just felt a lot of it was unnecessary.
it's all unnecessary.
But I mean, was it
But it's
entertaining
entertaining.
as hell?
Yes. Okay.
Like
thanks.
the
I
only
also backyard wrestled, so like I kind of get it. I kind of get the
yeah, and
thrill.
I got
I
nothing.
kind of
I
get
got
the
nothing.
thrill of like
Yeah.
you're never gonna make it to the big leagues. You're like there's no chance.
Well,
So
I knew I was
have your
yeah.
little match. And, yeah.
I knew I was never going to make it, but at least to get trained properly and get to do quick in an
Yeah.
actual ring in front of people, there was never a bigger thrill.
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so let's go through some of these. These are
All right.
quick.
Quick
Uh,
questions. Go.
Okay, favorite wrestler.
First half of my life, Shawn Michaels. Second half of my life, Bret Hart.
Okay,
It's very hard for me to, from how they have gone in their twilight years, they switch places. I loved Shawn back in the day fighting against a boring product while Bret Hart was the company guy, just going in there having the best matches, doing the best he can, while Shawn was like, everything sucks. We need to be like ECW. We need to progress. We need to be edgy. And I just, again, right guy,
yeah,
frustrated young white man. I love that. And now that they're older and seeing Shawn Michaels just be a company guy because his buddy Triple H runs everything and he's just a shill for the company, while Bret Hart is out there saying the craziest shit because he doesn't need money. Where Shawn, I've read all his books. He made terrible investments. He lost a ton of
yeah.
cash. He needs this job. He needs to show up and put on a good brave face and be like, this is the best the company has ever been. While Bret Hart is out there doing interviews like this, just saying the craziest shit he can think
Oh
of.
man,
So
Brett
Brett
definitely said some shit. I'll tell you.
Brett is
Yeah.
currently, I think, eclipsed Shawn as my favorite wrestler. And I loved they were my two favorite wrestlers growing up, but I always liked Shawn just a little bit more because again he was like edgy and like God, I love DX. the day I bought my Degeneration X 2 Word Suck It shirt, it was like the best day of my life.
Shit,
God,
yeah,
I love that shirt.
fair enough.
I love the original DX. That was the best version of Shawn Michaels ever. He was, I don't know if anybody's had a better year of wrestling than Shawn in '97, and it was only half a year. The first half was with Bret Hart's best year, I think, and then the second half was Shawn Michaels' best year. That run of pay-per-views with like the Bulldog, even Wrestle Mankind on Raw, you had Bulldog in England,
Yeah.
Bret, Shamrock, they were all Undertaker, Hell in a Cell. It's the best 6 months of a wrestler I think I've ever seen. But he's lame now, and he's old, and he toes the company line, and it makes me mad every time I see him.
That's fair.
And
All
he
right.
still comes out and struts, and you're like, dude. Where Bret Hart just drinks. I mean, did you watch the Hogan documentary on
Yes.
Netflix? Yeah, that was my
Yes.
favorite part, where they had that big thing about going back and forth, where Hogan's talking about how like, oh, I was never supposed to drop the belt to Bret Hart, and that was obviously supposed to happen.
Wow.
And it goes back and forth between them two, and then the music stops, and it's just Bret Hart taking a drink at the bar, and he goes, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
That's what Bret Hart
That
is
was
now.
good. Oh,
That was
I
the
know.
best part of the documentary.
But
And he can say that because he doesn't. Nobody owns him.
That's true, and but in many ways, I've also noticed that Brett's become really, really, really bitter. Like it's like
Sure.
sooner or later, you're just gonna have to let go of the whole fucking Goldberg kicked you thing.
What's
like,
the
you know?
line between being bitter and telling the truth?
I guess that's true, but no. And believe me, Brett, I've been a huge fan of Brett. I've been a huge
Absolutely.
all my life. I mean, I watched him go from tagging to singles, back to tagging to and seeing his progressions and everything. Like the very I'm this old.
Yep.
When the WWF first came here and did their very first house show, it was March of 1988.
Holy cow.
Now give me sorry, I hate to do this. I'm gonna go grab a water.
Yeah, go grab some water.
Grab water.
I'll talk.
So it was June of 1988.
Okay. June of 1988.
Yeah. Picture the roster 2 months after WrestleMania 4.
Okay. Yep. Macho Man's champ. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, these were not fast questions.
No, that's okay. But I'm just saying that I'm old enough to remember, and that was actually the first time that the Hart Foundation had been broken up,
Okay.
and that was when Bret Hart was feuding with Bad News Brown, and at that time he was using the pile driver as his finish.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, so I can say that I was at the very, very first WWF show that was ever in Saskatoon, and I was at the very first AEW show that was ever in Saskatoon.
Nice.
And guess who's the only other person that I know for sure that was at both of those shows? Jake Roberts.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah. I saw him wrestle Rick Rude.
Yeah. I remember people talking about that because, again, like I said, it was happening around me in the late 80s, but I just wasn't paying that close attention. All right.
Favorite tag team?
I think it's always going to come down to Road Warriors or Dudley Boys, I think.
Yeah.
And I kind of have to go Dudley Boys just for my era. And again, the ECW.
No, I love the Dudleys. I can't say enough good about the Dudleys. So I'll just leave it at that. I can't say enough good about the Dudleys. Personally, I always liked the British Bulldogs. I loved their finish when Dave would one of my two favorite finishes was when he would pick up Dynamite and launch him from a flying headbutt. That was cool. But we'll get into that to finishers in a second here. What's your favorite match that you've ever seen? What do you think is like? And even if there's something like, it doesn't have to be a WrestleMania match or a main event. If you have something obscure, I mean, mine is actually an obscure match, and a lot of people go, "Wait, what?
What is it? Hit me."
Well, no, I'm asking you.
Okay,
I'm asking you. What is your favorite match of all time?
It's got to be, and these are both huge matches. Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, the very first one.
Yeah.
Or Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, WrestleMania 25. Bret Hart, Stone Cold, WrestleMania 13 is right up there. But being the biggest Shawn Michaels fan, I just remember the Hell in a Cell match was so... I don't even know if ahead of its time, but like you hadn't seen anything like that on television when they did it, and that was part of the 6 months run of where he was a bad guy. He was in DX. That was just the best character, and he was having the best matches. And I mean, the easy answer is Bret Hart Stone Cold, because that like changed the company after one match. And WrestleMania 25 was just such a like, these two legends are gonna wrestle, and man, they tore it down. That was one of the best pure matches I'd seen in 20 years.
Is he mowing the lawn?
That's all good. A little bit of lawn mowing. We're going long.
Yeah, we are. You know, okay. When anybody asks me what's your favorite match to ever watch, and I'd say if you can find it, it's from Beach Blast, 1998, between Juventud Guerrera and Billy Kidman. It's Billy Kidman's first pay-per-view match.
Oh yeah.
These guys both tore the fucking house down because they were both showing, hey, I should be the cruiserweight.
We're ready.
I should be the cruiserweight champion. No. I should be the cruiserweight champion. And both of them, of course, eventually became multiple-time cruiserweight champions.
And that's like, to the current wrestling, I'm just pretty meh on, because like I watched the cruiserweights in WCW do this style 30 years ago, and do it kind of better.
Better.
Yeah. And
well, and I can actually,
and quicker.
I have an explanation for why I think that is, and it's simply the way people structure matches these days. Let's see. I'm trying to. Okay. What's your favorite finishing move of all time?
Razor's Edge. Not even close.
Edge.
That was when I first started watching wrestling. Yeah, Razor Ramon was just coming into his own, and that blew my mind.
Yeah, it looks like he was breaking people's necks.
Oh yeah, I talked to the $1 Million Man about that when I interviewed him at PopCon when I did the panel. Because as kids, when I first started watching,
I was there.
That was an urban legend. Was that like, obviously it's fake and it's it's a show, but we thought that Ted DiBiase, because that was his last match, was when he took the Razor's Edge, it like hurt his neck for real, and that's why he had to retire. And that's just something that stuck with us, because it was pre-internet, and somebody said that they heard that, or somebody's older brother said that, and we were like, holy cow. So every time we saw a Razor give someone the Razor's Edge, we were like, land it right, don't cost your career like it did Ted DiBiase. And when he looked at me in the face and was like, that was not a thing, I was like, that makes sense. That was actually probably my favorite question I got to ask Ted DiBiase.
No, I remember you asking that specifically. I was like, and I don't necessarily remember that was that match.
It was SummerSlam. That was like when I first started watching pay-per-views.
Okay,
he gave $1 Million Man the Razor's Edge and won, and then that was like his last match. But I think it sounded like he was already hurt and retiring, and that was just going to be his last match no matter what.
Okay.
But in our minds, somebody's older brother heard that, the move legitimately messed his neck up. That's how dangerous it is.
See, back in the days of pre-internet, you could tell anybody anything about wrestling, and they would almost believe it. Like I remember people used to come up to me and say, "Hey, okay, I know wrestling's fake, but how do they determine who wins the match?" And I'm like, "Oh, the referee decides before the match." And they would walk away, and then the guy goes, "Is that true?" It's like, I don't fucking know.
Also, I want to defend myself a little more about my love of ECW and CCW, right?
I don't understand why you should feel defended.
I want to make a point, because most people, if you ask them their favorite match or the match they remember the most, what do you think is one of the most like universally loved and talked about matches? And I see where's you have the man's signature here somewhere. What's like the craziest match that people think of when they think of the Attitude Era?
I get somebody's right up there.
Right up there, right? And why was that match crazy? Because you were like, holy cow, we're dipping into real. This guy might actually be hurt, and you never forget how that felt.
He was.
And people still celebrate that match. But that's what ECW and CCW gives you like every match. You're like, these people could actually be hurt. It's the same feeling. So you can't love that match, folks, and hate on me for loving ECW and garbage wrestling. I don't.
Okay, first of all, Curtis, I don't know who in this room put you on the defense of ECW. I told you I'm.
No, I know, but anytime I say that to
Mhm,
anybody, they're
mhm.
like, "Oh, that's so dangerous," and like they were all on drugs and they all hurt themselves and they're all dead. And I'm like, I realize that, and I'm sad about
Yeah,
that, but
but that was
I'm
their
just being
choice.
honest. I would rather watch two untrained slobs in ECW hit each other with barbed wire bats than Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That makes
Uh,
me a bad person, but
fair.
that was where I peaked as a wrestling fan, was ECW,
Like
and it's that feeling that
that
I crave. It's like, it's fake, but something real could happen any second, and that doesn't happen in wrestling anymore.
Yeah. For me, I always wanted to watch great matches,
Yep.
whether they be violent or not, bloody or not,
Yep.
sure. I was just hoping that nobody would get hurt.
Yes.
But yes, in certain instances like this one, you watch this and you just, this is what happens. You just go,
Yes. And that's the
did
high
that
I'm
just
chasing.
fucking happen?
And that's the high I'm chasing when I watch the garbage wrestling on TV.
And I get it. So believe me, as a wrestling fan, I get it. There's just certain points where you just go, did I fucking just see that?
I was
Like,
watching a women's match
this
like
is
last
here.
night.
Hold on, before you go ahead. This one here, this is from, he was on his 20 Years of Hell's tour in 2018.
Yep.
I don't know if were you at that show that you did at the Broadway Theater?
I was at the one before that. It was out of town somewhere, I think.
Okay.
It was like a couple days before.
All I
maybe.
was gonna say was that he it's, I'm sure you've seen it, and as many wrestling fans know, but what Mick Foley does now is it's a comedy show, but it's funny stories about
Yep.
wrestling. But he
Yep.
went but the middle in-depth part was this match and this match alone, because it was 20 years old that year. And he said the first time that he got thrown off the top of the cage, that he got knocked out and he had a concussion.
Yep.
And really, they could have just as easily finished it right
Sure.
there. But then he woke up and he kept moving, and he goes, by the way, how many sports do you guys watch? Football, baseball, hockey, whatever. When somebody gets knocked out, do they get back up and play? We're like, no. And he goes, well, in my fake sport, they do.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, gotcha.
And that wasn't even like the worst thing that happened to him, was being
No,
thrown off
it
the cage.
wasn't.
And then he
That's
went
the
through the cage, and then he lands in thumbtacks.
Yeah, and well, the thumbtacks he
And
brought out
people
himself.
remember that because of that suspension of disbelief of like, I'm watching something fake, but this is getting so real.
There was nothing.
There's nothing fake about this.
That
Yeah.
match.
I was watching a CZW match last night.
Oh, the women can get fucking crazy.
There was a girl on the outside, and then her opponent went on the top rope and did like a swanton bomb, and to the standing opponent, and she was supposed to obviously catch her and help her, and she barely touched her. And this girl basically just did a forward somersault off the top rope onto the cement, and I was like, God damn. She got up and kept wrestling, and I was like, she'll probably be fine till like 10 years from now.
Man,
She'll be feeling that, but
I've seen some crazy women's matches from Japan.
yep.
Oh fuck,
Man, back in the day.
Jesus Christ.
Bull Nakano. What was the girl with the spinning back fist? Aja Kong.
I can't remember.
Anyway,
let's see.
these are rapid questions. They're not going rapid. I apologize.
They're you know, it is what it is.
As we round 90 minutes here.
No.
Just so you know, this is gonna be the best fucking interview you ever do. You just stop it
You know,
after episode
I know.
1, okay?
I'm gonna have to shut down my podcast after this. It's never gonna get any better than this. Now, what's your favorite annual pay-per-view?
Royal Rumble.
Okay.
I gotta watch it.
There it is.
I gotta watch it.
I thought we might have a different, interesting conversation here, but the fact is that yes, the Royal Rumble is the best of the year because that's where the road to WrestleMania begins, and that's when the people that are coming back that you don't know are coming back, and that's what's the best. It just, you don't know who's next. You don't know who's next.
And also in 1995, I had all my friends over to my parents' house, and we drew numbers out of a hat, and we each put in $10. And then, so if you drew number 4, the fourth wrestler was your guy, and whoever got the number of the guy that won $150. And then I had a jam jar, and I made that into like our Stanley Cup. And every year I added the winner's name, and we did that until last year when my parents sold the house. So we did it for like 30 years in my parents' basement. We're adults all getting together to watch the Royal Rumble to get the name on the jar. Yeah, every year everybody brought $10, and even when there was 2 Rumbles, you drew 2 numbers. Just whatever. So if you got number 2 and number 29, those were your picks, and you had to cheer for them no matter how bad they sucked. No matter who it was, you're like, all right. And then whoever won got the
That's a good one.
$150. It was 15 of us. Yeah.
It's a good one.
Well,
That's different than the one my grandma used to do, but it was different. It was for hockey games. We'd each put $1 in, and
yep.
you'd pick a number, and if that many goals were scored, so you're not necessarily cheering for a specific team.
You
You're
cheer
cheering
for
for
goals.
okay. If it's 3 goals, I need somebody to win 3-0, 2-1.
Yep.
Something like that. That's even better. What you're saying is even better.
It was fun. It's still fun.
Okay, so
We did it remotely during COVID. Like we'd all
oh,
watch remotely, and we'd still pick numbers remotely.
I see.
I'd have a live feed, and I'd pick numbers live so they could see I wasn't cheating
Oh, okay. I see what you're talking
when
about.
we weren't
Yeah.
there. Because usually you pass around the hat, and everybody takes out 2 numbers. But when for those like 3 years we couldn't get together over COVID, I would just like do a video of me pulling numbers out, and then we'd all watch independently. But we still, it's crazy because like over time, that goddamn jam jar, man, it is like one of the coolest things I own. It's got 30 years of names on, and like after about the 10th years, like nobody even cared about the money. It was nice, but it's like you want your name on the damn jar. You want to be on the Stanley Cup of Royal Rumbles in the Anderson house, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm assuming that you work in radio. You're a music fan.
Yep.
All right. Favorite band?
Guns N' Roses.
They're
Roxette.
very, very good.
Oasis. Yeah, Guns N' Roses, then Roxette, then like Rage Against the Machine and
Yeah,
Oasis.
I'm a huge fan of Roxette.
I love
This is
Roxette.
sad when I found out that she passed
I
away.
never saw them live.
Neither did I. I got there was only one time they ever played here, and it was on their tour. I don't know what the hell was the album called with Joyride and stuff, or was that the name of the album?
I should know this. You really threw me. I think it's Joyride.
I think it's Joyride. To be
That's
honest with you,
yeah.
I think that was the lead track for
Yeah.
the album, but that was the only tour they were ever here on that I'm aware of.
hmm
And
They
so
came to
no,
Winnipeg a few times and it just never worked out. And I
yeah.
will. Same thing with Rage Against the Machine. I had tickets to them twice. The first time they canceled because of COVID in Edmonton, and then they came back to Edmonton, and then they canceled because he hurt his foot. Never gonna see Rage
You
Against the Machine.
know, my buddy told me the same story, only it was Calgary.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yep.
my buddy lives in Calgary.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Rage Against the Machine, and my guy's always been Bruce.
Yep.
But as you can see, I'm a Rob Zombie
Oh
fan
yeah.
as well, and a huge fan of a lot of music. But
And the
Rage,
haters can kick rocks too. I love
yeah,
Rob Zombie movies. I think his wife's awesome. I don't care that he.
yeah.
Good on him. Oh, too bad he's got a healthy marriage and puts his wife in all his movies. I put my wife in movies too.
Yeah,
Of course he
I
would.
know. Like I laugh at that stuff because like you remember when everybody was doing Bob Ross memes for the
Yeah.
longest time, and then there's this Bob Ross meme. You got the afro, but it's Rob Zombie,
Yeah.
and it's like, and I'll just put a nice little picture of my wife right
Yeah.
about here, and it's like, you know what, his movies are awesome,
I love him.
and his
I
I
got to
mean,
interview Sid Haig before he died from.
oh
Yeah.
Jesus, he's
That's a good interview.
amazing. Oh my
And
God.
it's funny because he didn't want to do the interview. I was at Comic Con and he was like, I don't know, man. He was like whispering. I was there because they've got handlers, right? And I
Yeah.
was like, can I talk to him? And the handler was like, I don't think he wants to do interviews. And I was like, hey, man. And he was like, no. And I was like, we'll talk about what you want to talk about. And she talked him into it. She's like, this guy seems fun. And he was kind of standoffish at first. And
Yeah.
then we talked wrestling and I broke him and he was super excited.
That's cool.
Yeah. He loved talking wrestling.
Yeah, both
Rest in peace, Sid Haig.
both Ted DiBiase and Zach Levi turned me down.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ted DiBiase just said no, and Zach Levi says no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Well, Zach Levi came here expecting to be ambushed because there was such a
see,
such an online oh, you're bringing
I
a Trump
know.
supporter. And I'm like, guys, he's not going to talk about that. He's not. He's a professional. I mean, he's not going to take a Comic
Okay.
Con panel and go into politics. And
Yeah.
no one who hates him is going to buy a ticket just to have that gotcha moment because it's
Well,
not going to
yeah,
work. You're not going to
yeah,
pay a
like-
ticket
like
price
you-
just to
you-
stand up and be
you-
like, I hate you because you like Trump, and then that person will get ejected, and nobody's going to think about it ever again. And that's not even like
I know
a
that's
viral
that's
moment
so
that anyone's
stupid.
going to care about. It's like
Like I knew that he had I knew that he had those politics, but I just remember like just watching the way he carried himself. We were lining up for Ted DiBiase, and Zach Levi comes and sits down and he starts doing his thing, And when nothing was going on, he just looks over and he goes, "Oh, $1 Million Man, that's when I was watching wrestling and stuff." Like he's being cool.
Yeah. No,
And so now he was talking, and then he was talking to us in the line and stuff. And so I just said to him and said, "Hey man, loved American Underdog." He's like, "Thank you very
yeah.
much." Like, you know,
He was
he was
cool.
he was being cool, and there
It
was
is social media would make you believe it can't happen, but you can still put politics aside.
well,
And
no shit.
especially for someone like that who needs the not needs, but like wants the payday of doing Comic Cons, he's not gonna go full on
Yeah.
pro Trump
Well,
and
why?
alienate half his
What do
audience,
you?
and he's not gonna get invited to
Yeah,
these
he'll
anymore.
fucking go at a Trump rally and do that or
Yeah,
something.
he's not
you
gonna
know?
go to Saskatoon and pull that.
Like, yeah.
So,
So I don't want to get into that shit either.
as we
There's no
round hour
politi-
two,
there's
hour
no-
two, you're gonna run out of storage on
Actually,
your
we're at
MacBook.
124.
Woo!
All right, so let's see. What's your favorite single act? Not band, but single, like single performer.
Oh, geez. Single performer. I'm just gonna throw out Alanis. I love Alanis
She's
Morissette.
great. She's
That
great.
album was insane.
Mhm.
And I talk about it often about how different times were when rock girls took over, like grunge
Mhm.
rock girls took over in the 90s. The guys could not have been happier. And I don't think that would exist anymore. They're
Yeah.
trying to reboot Lilith Fair, and I'm already just seeing like on this all this like hate from online. Like,
Oh.
where's the man only?
Oh Christ!
Where's the man only festival? It's like there wasn't any of that. We were so
Where's the
excited
Man
when
Only
Garbage and Alanis Morissette and No Doubt, even like
Yeah.
all those bands, we were just so happy for the girls at the time. We're like, these are the best artists in the mid '90s. We're the females.
I've always said it, that the 80s and the 90s had the best movies, best music.
Yep.
I think it was the best time for pop culture.
There was
period.
more understanding, and you couldn't hide behind social media, and that's a whole nother. We could do another 2
yeah,
hours
yeah.
on
Oh
that. But
fuck. Yeah, let's not.
the
get
meanest people online are nice to your face because that's how you are in real life, and how
Yeah,
you are in
pretty
social
much.
media is not how you
Well,
are in real
I
life.
know. Like there's this one.
We could do this all day. We could do this all day.
There's this one particular kid. I'm in a group online called I'm in many Facebook groups, and I like to get. There's this one called CFL Chatter.
Yep.
There's this one guy who's an Edmonton Elks fan who keeps like he's like yo, Saskatchewan. How does it look? How does it feel to be number 2? We're number 1 in the league. We're not no longer sharing number 1. It's like and I just simply went we had a bye week, dude.
Yeah.
What are you getting excited about, man? Like, but
Chill.
some people, that's all they want to do. They just want to be online troll triggering you. They just want to trigger you. And I noticed that people come say stuff to him, and same with me. But then I realize he doesn't come back and say anything to them. He just wants to get that trigger going. Boom, boom,
Yep.
boom, boom. It's like, fuck you guys. I hate kids like that. Like, seriously, I want to.
I should come
house down.
back next time and I'll
Yeah.
interview you about your wrestling career. I'm curious about that. But man, we are out of time. Like we're getting up there.
We'll see. We're
Keep going,
almost. I got some more quick. Okay, this is gonna be. If we keep going, keep going.
Okay, we'll do
All
rapid.
right. So, what's your favorite song?
Favorite song?
You're allowed to pass if you can't
no.
get there.
November Rain.
Okay, great. What's your favorite concert you've been to?
Guns N' Roses, Edmonton 2006, which is a hot take because that was with his like cover band at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
It was Axl and a bunch of other musicians.
Not a cover band. That's
But it was Axl and like Buckethead. No, it wasn't even Buckethead. It was Axl and
Bumblefoot.
Bumblefoot. Thank you. Yeah.
And yeah, that was the Chinese Democracy lineup. Yeah.
I've seen the real lineup since, but there was something that was so intense about that show because the tour had just started, and that was like his 2001 comeback tour had already failed. And I'm going too long, but he showed up in Edmonton. I don't know if anybody else was there, but the crowd was so hot that night. I will just remember he came on late. And in between songs, he would try to do these little like shtick. Like he came out in an Oilers jersey and he was like, "So they made me an honorary Edmonton Oiler today. I was talking to the mayor," and everyone was just chanting, "Axel," and like shaking the place. And then he would just like stop his stories and just like walk out and be like, "God, you guys are revved up." He's like, "Fuck it, let's just play music." And so like, if I ever got to talk to Axl Rose, he probably wouldn't remember the stadium show in Regina. It looked like everything else. But I bet you he would remember that night in Edmonton just because the crowd was so hot and you could tell he was feeling it.
Was that the same tour that my buddies went out to Vancouver and then riot happened?
That was 2001. That was 2001, yeah.
Okay.
And that was the energy when he tried it again in 2006.
Yeah,
It was
I
like,
had
is
two
he going to
buddies-
show? Is he
I
going to
had
show?
2 buddies that went out to Vancouver, and then
You saw him on the news throwing guardrails through windows.
I wish I could say it was them, but it wasn't. But
Okay.
I would love to have said, yeah, my buddies were the ones that started that. But I mean, Oh fuck. Only in Vancouver, man. What is it about Vancouver and rides? Holy shit.
The fresh air.
Okay. All right. So how about let's go through different things,
Okay.
different media. Favorite TV show.
6 Feet Under.
You know,
HBO.
I never did watch that one. That was the one with Michael C. Hall though, before he was Dexter.
Yep.
Yeah, when they were running a funeral.
You betcha.
Parlor. I know of it. I maybe have only seen a couple episodes that I don't remember.
Highly
but
recommend
I do.
it.
I that's
It will break you and rebuild you. It's a beautiful show.
It's one of those ones that comes up a lot.
I needed something after Oz finished. I was a big Oz fan
Oz
too.
that was intense.
Yep. 6 Feet Under is a little more accessible. Loved it.
Favorite movie?
Oh, that's a tough one. Dark Knight or Terminator 2. And I know those are such low-hanging fruit to be favorite movies. And I always thought it was Dark Knight. I saw Dark Knight 10 times in the theater. Loved it. And then I sat down with my son and we watched both on the same night. And I kind of like Terminator 2 a little better. I don't know if
Terminator 2 was so ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Because they were breaking new
Yeah.
areas of technology
Yep.
and shit like that. And just simply the way they used it.
I also hadn't seen Terminator 2 10 times as I had Dark Knight, but
I never got to see Terminator. I wasn't old enough to be able to see Terminator 2 in the theater.
no, me neither.
But I will say my two The Crow.
Yep.
The Crow.
Crow's up there.
That will always be my all-time favorite.
Nice.
just
That's a
because
good
I
favorite.
think that one checks all the boxes.
Yep.
Action, horror, fucking comedy, fucking like you could fit,
Yep.
like you could put every genre fits
Real
in
life
that. Yeah.
tragedy,
Yeah.
lore.
Comic book movie. Like it's all there. It's
Yeah,
a comic
yeah.
book movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, but aside from that, The Fugitive with Harrison Ford. I can watch that anytime. That movie is fucking awesome.
I also like The Ring. And I know that's such a lame for I'm a big horror movie guy and I love foreign horror, but the US Ring, I don't know why, but I was just like, this is a perfect horror movie. I just had such low expectations.
My
And
favorite.
I love that movie. Obsession, and again, great movie.
It was okay.
Okay.
I'm not a huge horror fan, but
Gotcha.
if you go into the kitchen there, those are all my horror movies, and I always that's what the ones that I
Oh,
watch
geez.
in October.
Okay, yeah.
So I keep them over there. I keep
Yeah.
the horror away from everything
October
else.
stays in the kitchen. That makes sense. Okay.
It's because I ran out of. I got more boxes outside that I need to start
Okay.
making boxes. I'm lazy.
All right.
No, but my favorite of all time is John Carpenter's Halloween, just because it's just like that. It's a straight up slasher,
Yep.
and you need no real explanation. You understand what's going on here, and that's what's happening.
Yep.
But aside from that, because I'm okay, I can go into a whole tangent about John Carpenter.
Part two.
John,
Part two.
John Carpenter.
Well, I'll come back, man.
But
I would
I'll
love
just
to
say
come
this.
back.
I'll just say this.
Okay.
Christine.
Yeah. Oh my God! Shut up.
Yeah.
Are you
What?
serious?
It's an evil car. How cool is
It's an
that?
Evil 57. I
I
watched
know,
that with
57
my dad.
Kung
Was a huge
Fury,
car
like,
guy, and
yeah.
we watched that together when I was little.
Well-
And I just watched it again for the first time a few years ago, and it's amazing.
Like it's one thing, okay, and I'm not shitting on what you were talking about, but it's one thing to watch a tape and then you get a phone call, yo, you're gonna die in a week. Okay, sure. I get that. That's cool. That's creepy. And
It sounded really
or-
cool the way you described it.
or whatever, okay, I get it.
Sure.
Or Final Destination. Oh, we found a way to beat death, but death is coming for us. And so they all die in stupid fucking ways. And then, but man, this is a car.
A possessed
And
car.
it's gonna kill
And
you.
the score was so legendary.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
the score on
Such a-
vinyl.
And it's gonna fucking kill you.
He's running from the blue headlights.
Dude, yeah. And not only that, it's one thing to have CGI, blah blah blah, but that part where they had to crash into the gas station,
Yeah.
and then he backs out and he's on fire, and then he's driving down. A
Goosebumps.
fucking guy was inside
Yeah.
that car, had to do that.
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
There's no
Nowadays,
AI back then.
There's no way they're gonna get people to do that in this day and
No.
age. But
It's a lost art. Great movie. Good pick.
who's your favorite actor?
Jeez, I don't even know if I have a favorite actor, honestly. I'm
Okay.
not huge into the names,
Okay.
you know. I just I don't know. I don't know. David Duchovny.
Yeah, he's all right.
I liked X-Files.
X-Files.
I watched a lot of Red Shoe Diaries when I was a teenager on Showcase.
Mom.
after everyone went to bed.
Okay, but yeah, mom's going to bed. Okay, good, good, good. Red Shoe Diaries is
Red Shoe
on.
Diaries, let's go. Yeah.
How about, do you have a favorite actress?
Not really. I don't know. Alicia Cuthbert. Just pulling that out of the air.
Canadian.
Right?
She's very, very, very lovely.
Yeah.
Very lovely. Do you have a sport that you follow at all? Do you follow any sports?
I don't. I shoot so much sports. I don't really follow anything. I mean, obviously wrestling a little bit, but only on Tubi. Only the high art that is CZW, my friend.
So professional wrestling, that's
Yeah.
that's your thing. So you don't actually have a favorite team?
I
You
don't really
have a-
know. Like I shoot so
yeah.
much sports, and that's such a lame answer. But I don't go home and watch sports after I've been filming sports all week.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been, well, as you can see, I'm a Kings fan
Yeah.
and I'm a Riders fan.
Yeah.
I only have this here because that was my dad's team, and that's
Yeah.
that's my dad right
Chicago,
there.
man.
That's my dad.
Original
That's
7,
my
right?
dad right there. Yeah. Original 6.
Sorry, I blew that.
It's okay.
I know so much about sports.
Yeah.
Originals. Yeah.
Okay, so what else do you guys?
I'm joking.
Nobody's gonna be listening anyways.
They
okay?
they gave up half an hour ago. No,
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. This
yeah,
is
so-
good stuff, man.
So
You're doing great, by the way.
yeah, thanks. So what else do you have going on? That's going on.
Strip Down Live takes its 16th season coming up in September. Still got the Detour on 96.3 Cruz FM. Got a bunch of other projects. I'm working behind the scenes on Gary Scaries with Caitlin Mitchke and Gary Nickel. They do a live show where they read paranormal stories and react to it. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to be dropping a trailer for a cartoon here in October, hopefully. That's pretty big. I've been working on it for a long time. Yeah, I wrote a cartoon, and man, it's hard. I wrote a cartoon, and I was shopping around right before COVID. There was like a tiny, it was never close to being picked up, but there was like interest. Then COVID killed it. And then after COVID, I started shopping around again. There's a little bit of interest, and I got an agent, and things seemed like they were happening, and then suddenly they weren't happening. And then I said, you know what? I started working with another group that were like, maybe it was going to be a graphic novel, and then that went nowhere. So I just found a local production company, and we agreed on astronomical.
You're an artist. Do you make the illustrations?
No, I wrote it.
Oh, you wrote
But
it. Okay,
like I said, I
okay,
found a
okay.
local company, Eye Catcher Video, shout out, and I gave them a lot of money, and they're making a 1-minute trailer for the series, and I'm just going to drop it in October, and whatever happens,
Make
happens.
sure you message me that when
Sure.
that's. I want to see
I
that.
hope people will share it.
At least
If
if it ever goes to air, I could say, "Hey, I saw this when it was a 1-minute video, bitch."
I lead heavily on all my radio friends. They all voice a character in this 1-minute little montage of the show, and I'm excited for that. So yeah, and then still doing my daughter and I watch one Disney VHS movie a week. I have almost 400 VHS Disney movies.
Damn.
We have a wall.
Didn't
We
realize
inherited
it was
some,
that.
and people gave us some, and so since 2019, pre-pandemic, we've watched one Disney movie a week, and then I just did like a recap. There was a time I wasn't doing anything online, like anything on air.
Mhm.
So to keep the skills up, that was what I did all during lockdown and everything. I would take notes while we watched a Disney movie, then I would just throw it up on the teleprompter, and I'd be like, okay, Peter Pan, blah, 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 and I would just like read off a teleprompter just to keep doing this so I didn't lose this.
Yeah.
And then I just didn't give it up, and people kept giving me Disney movies, and so yeah, we're coming up to episode. We just did 350 a couple weeks ago.
Do you have a favorite?
Frozen 2. Yeah, there's a
Frozen
hot
2.
take. Frozen 2.
I can't say that I've seen the Frozen series, but I will say this. From the old school ones.
Yep.
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood's great.
They're
They're all good, man. They were dark back then.
But there was really, I thought the hot time was the 90s.
Well, of course, the Renaissance.
But my Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
That's the only
man.
one. That's the only one that I own. Not only the cartoon but the live action of, because they were both done well, and it's such a good story.
When
Yeah.
he starts whipping wolves against the tree and Belle's
Oh,
bottom or
jeez.
biting her bottom lip, you know what's up.
Yeah,
That's all you need to know about relationships right there.
it's true. It's true. So, one last question. So, what does it mean?
Bring it home. Let's land this
Being-
plane.
Yeah, what does it mean being from the 306 and being living in Saskatchewan too? What is it?
It has allowed me to be a big fish in a small pond, and that's not being self-deprecating. I had so many opportunities here that I would not have had in a larger market, just from my time at Shaw, and being out there in the community opened so many doors for me, and even allowed me, like I said, to become near the top of the freelance market here in the city. And there's so many times, even my wife and I discussed moving somewhere, not the prairies, but I would not have 10% of the opportunities anywhere else, and I know that. And as I've been lucky enough to surround myself with good people to help build stuff that came out of my head and how crazy it was, and I've also been lucky enough to have opportunity to do stuff like this and help those other people who are not sitting there going, well, we're going to do this and do it this way so I get this much money. People who just want to do shit. I will champion you guys all day every day because people still champion me for that grind. Don't do it for money, do it because you love to do it. And if you make money, great.
Yeah, that's exactly what I got going on here too. I'm hoping to be a big fish in a small pond one day too. But if nothing else, this I had a good time just hanging out with
I'm
you,
gonna
man.
come back for part 2. I
You
feel like
should-
we scratched the surface. I wanted to talk to you for half an hour about like your wrestling and
Well,
you know, what's the deal with Quicksilver? I remember when he used to be karaoke DJ at
yeah,
Whiskey
yeah,
Jack's.
yeah. He used to run at Whiskey Jack's and Adrian Biggie. He would be at what the hell's that one? The Colonial.
Yep.
Yeah, he was the DJ there.
See?
All right. All right, that's it for
Episode 1, 2, and 3 of the podcast.
Exactly.
Jesus. And we didn't. I could go for another 2 hours, but I got to get going, man. Oh my God, it's 2.
Yes, it is. All right, that was episode 1 of the 306 podcast. This is Jaret306. Thank you for listening.